The retainer treadmill is killing your agency. Coming from someone who has spent over $10 million in ad spend, we hit a point in our agency where we were burnt out and we're like, we love marketing, we love media buying, and we love running our agency. We just are so overwhelmed with the back-end systems, and the more clients you get, the more of a headache it becomes. So if you are in that same boat and you're looking for an alternative and you already have an agency or you're looking to start an agency, this video is for you. We're going to be discussing a new model called the PPL agency model, which is pay per lead. So let's get into it. The retainer treadmill is killing your agency. So how to turn your agency from a service business into a sellable asset. Let's get into it. So here's the problem with the retainer model. You're consistently fighting for a client, right? You have to convince them, hey, pay me $3K just as a service fee. And then you also have to pay your ad spend. And honestly, churn will kill your business. If you don't have a low churn, you're on this treadmill of consistently getting new clients, fight to keep them happy. You're having to report, you're having to do all these client calls, Slack channel where they feel like they have access to you 24/7, and it just becomes a nightmare. So you're always having to fight for that next 3 clients, spend every day trying to keep them happy, whether that's weekends or flying, client leaves, and you're back to zero. And it's kind of like a repeat cycle where you're like, okay, this client's with me, we set up all the tracking, we set up everything on the back end, we've optimized their funnel. 2 months in and oh, maybe their setter's on vacation, they're not getting the results, and they're like, peace out. What happened? You're back to zero. You have to find a new client. You have to go and restart the entire process, setting up their funnel, connecting their CRM, go high level, the whole shebang. And it's just like you're on this treadmill of consistently finding new clients, keeping those clients, and as you grow your client base, you also need to grow your team to fulfill that. So you're kind of like in this never-ending cycle. Not only that, when you're in the agency model, you're like fighting for people to pay you $3K and people will talk, oh, I get paid $5K, $10K. I would say if you're a more premium agency, yeah, $5K and up, but most agencies are stuck in the $3K or below. And here's the truth, the hard truth: sign a retainer client, you're basically just an employee. And I really feel this to my core, because once they have access to you on a Slack, once they have the reporting, once they have the weekly meetings, it feels like you're their employee. And what's going to happen is you go in, you're going to run their meta ads, you're going to connect their CRMs, you're going to connect their funnel. What's going to happen? Their funnel's not converting because it's not built to convert. It was built, it's old. You're going to have to go in, you're going to have to redo their entire funnel. Oh, hey, by the way, I don't know why people can't book on my calendar. Can you check on my calendar? You have to go into their go high level, be like, okay, why can't they book? They will message you for everything. And I'm telling you, in the beginning, we had clients being like, can you help with our profile picture highlight? And we've gotten to a point where we set those boundaries and we say, hey, this is our terms of service. But it's just the access that they have to you because of these chats and because of it's like so easy to message you. They almost treat you like an employee. You start to have to do things that are out of your service. Or for example, if you do want them to have the best results, the example about the funnel, you're gonna have to go in and basically optimize their funnel, or sometimes even build them out a new funnel. And you need to do all these things in order for them to get these results. So let's compare the models. Let's just talk about the sales pitch. In the retainer model, it's like, trust me, with $5K a month and I'll try my best. Like, you don't really say how many leads they're gonna get. It's kind of just like, oh, you pay me, you put your card on ad spend. And like in the PPL model, you only pay for leads I deliver. No leads, no payment. And honestly, we've seen our sales conversion improve so much with this PPL because of the psychology behind it. It's no longer like clients don't want to hear that they're having to pay you out of pocket $3K, $5K, and then have to pay another $10K for ad spend. It's the psychology behind it. Like they know, like, man, I'm $3K down the drain to this agency, and then I still have to pay ad spend. It's so much of an easier sell when you tell them, hey, all you pay is lead. You pay per lead. You want 20 leads, it's X amount. You want 30 leads. It feels like they have more control of what they're receiving. And it also makes them feel more safe because it's a guarantee. I pay you this amount, you give me X amount of leads. Here's the risk. With the retainer client, I would say the risk is a lot lower. Clients pay for ads. If ads flop, they lose their money and that you still get paid regardless, right? And this is why when you're working with clients, they will nitpick you about their CPL, about their everything cost per acquisition. It's like their money is on the line. With the PPL model, your money is on the line. You pay for ads. If ads flop, you lose money. And I love this model if you're a really, really good media buyer. If you're really good at what you do, or you have a really good team, or you have someone that you can purchase leads from, I love this model because it's a performance-based model. Whenever we get a new client, they pay us and we deliver those leads within that month span. So everything is fresh, everything is new. I've seen some people say you have to prepay out of your own money and then you have to hope you can sell them. I personally don't like that because I like when leads are fresh. And it's kind of gives you a safety net so you don't have to prepay anything. Upside, capped by your monthly fee. Okay, this was honestly one of the biggest things for us. We got to a point where we were managing so many clients that even if we charged a lot, it still felt like almost like a burden to have to take on a new client, because it just felt like, it got to a point where honestly I felt like we were just hiring so much because as we were growing in clients, we had to grow the team. If we want to make more money in the agency space, you have to do upsells, websites, AI bots, the whole shebang. Some people will say, oh, just do % of the ad spend, all this stuff. I'm gonna be so honest with you right now. It's so easy to say. It's very hard for someone to do a % of ad spend, especially once you start working with bigger clients. Like we have some enterprise clients. You think they're gonna do a % of ad spend when they're spending so much money on ads every month? No. Maybe that works with smaller clients, but once you start growing and you're working with bigger clients, they will not do a % of ad spend. So it doesn't matter if, like, we had one time we were making a client $1 million a month. They were paying us well, but as they were making more, we weren't really making more. You can sometimes do brackets, but like I said, in this model, if you're going with big fishes and you're working with bigger clients, they're not gonna do ad spend %, okay? PPL model. Now this is uncapped. And I think when we were deciding to change our agency model to the PPL agency model, I think this one was probably one of the biggest things for us. You're uncapped. And this is the crazy part, and I'm gonna go into the math. But basically, you can double how much you're making from a client by doubling the amount of leads you sell them. And the PPL offer is so much easier to sell. So this is the offer that they literally cannot refuse. You only pay for leads I deliver. No leads, no payment. And honestly, clients have been eating this up. Like I mentioned, our sales conversion have improved drastically. So you have one pixel, one giant brain. I remember one day in our agency, we were onboarding a new client. And this client, okay, I'm just gonna say a story. They were a loan officer, okay? We had worked with a lot of loan officers, even brokers. We were actually working with brokers at the time. And we already know which creatives work. We already know how to set this up to be most efficient. And we started working with them. They had a good budget. So we're like, yeah, let's do it. We go into their ad account. I don't even know if they had an ad account. They've never ran ads before. They have the budget to do it. So like, let's do it. And my partner and I were talking. I'm like, man, this is so frustrating because we know we can get them really good results, but they have a new account. They don't even have an Instagram. So like when you're running the ads, it's going to be like through Facebook. It's just not going to look they're not going to be able to get the proper results because they do not have all the back-end systems already in place. And the reason it was frustrating to us because we have other clients that are loan officers, that are brokers, that already have, that we've taken months to get them to where they're at. And now it feels like we're bringing on a new client and we kind of have to start from zero again. But to train their pixel, train their data, their funnel, their creatives, they don't even have an Instagram. And it just felt like we were starting from zero again. And it was just so frustrating. I remember my partner and I were talking like, man, like this is so frustrating. Like even the setup of everything is just so time consuming. And it was that experience that made us look into this PPL model that was a game changer. I remember my partner telling me like, what if, like, he's like, I just learned about this new model. You only need to manage one brand and you get more of those same clients. So when a new client comes on, there's no having to train the pixel. There's no having to set up the funnel. You literally just set up the lead distribution. And I could not fathom that. I'm like, why? Like, I don't understand why the agency model has blown up. I think it's just like the marketing and all the bro gurus that have made it so popular, when this model is a game changer. However, I will say it is a performance model, which means you have to be really good at medium buying, which we are, which is why we're like thriving, and I love this space. So retainer model, you have 20 clients, 20 pixels, 20 complaints, people are getting on weekly calls with you. Why is my cost per lead rising? Da, 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 da. PPL model is one pixel, one giant brain. Every dollar that you spend makes it smarter. So with us, we work with a lot of law firms, right? So we already have the funnel that converts for law firms. We already have the creative. So when a law firm comes to us and they're like, hey, we want leads, we don't have to connect their ad account. It's so easy. We just send the leads to their CRM. And this was a game changer because it eliminates all of that setup, all of bringing on new people. You're not going to get the best results if you're running ads through their account and they have bad pixel, they have bad data, or they never ran ads. And let's talk about the operations of running an agency versus the PPL lead model. This was a big one for us as well. So my partner, he is like the king of systems and operations. And it got to a point where like, okay, let's just use this for simple terms. You have 20 clients, you have 20 group chats, 20 reportings that you have to do every single week, 20 client success calls. Not only that, you have these chats where people are messaging you at 10 p.m., at 6 a.m., expecting a response because the access to you is just so easy. And like I mentioned, it gets to a point where they're like, hey, can you fix my website? Hey, can you fix my calendar? Hey, can you help me with my course? Like, I don't know why people can't purchase. Hey, can you help set up my code? Hey, can you help with my webinar slide decks? It's tough because you want to provide really great service, and you also want to do those things so that they're able to get the results you want. Because if they don't have a good funnel, they don't have a good slide, they don't have good creatives, then they're not going to get the best results. So you almost feel like you have to do all these things in order for them to get the results needed. But then the fulfillment just becomes a nightmare, honestly. And the more like you're doing their website, you're doing the funnel, so they're just like nitpicking every little thing. With the PPL model, it's just one funnel, one creative. Obviously, you can branch off into different verticals, but let's keep it simple. One funnel, it already works. All you have to do, instead of optimizing 20 funnels for 20 different clients, you optimize one funnel and you become obsessed with optimizing this one funnel. A new client comes in, you just distribute the leads. There's no private chats. It's email communication. Actually, a lot of people in this space don't even do reporting. There is no client meetings. Think about all that time that you get back to actually work on providing the best results versus just dealing with clients. So you work less, you have more leverage, but best of all, you have better results. So you own the funnel, you own the landing page and sub accounts. One change improves every client, and you have all the systems and backend set up already. Just think about that. Instead of having to optimize all these funnels, different angles, websites, creatives, you just optimize and you hyperfixate on one and getting the best leads that you can for those clients. And here's the math. To keep it simple, these are real numbers. And like I mentioned, it depends what vertical you're in. Some verticals, you can sell the lead for less, but they buy a lot more volume. Some leads you can sell for more and they maybe buy a smaller batch. So for us, we sell to law firms. So to keep it simple, our ad spend is anywhere around $200. We sell it for $350 per lead, which means we profit $150 per lead. So let's do the math. We sell 50 leads, $350 a pop, $17,500. That's how much a typical pilot costs with us. So our profit off of that is $7,500. Think about how hard it would be to get 10 to 15 new clients to pay you that much with minimal work in the agency space. With law firms, I'm gonna talk about law firms, but in the PPL space in general, these people that buy leads, they're not just buying leads from you, and they're not just buying leads once. This is like their lifeline. And we've had a lot of clients tell us, if you guys crush this or you guys are doing amazing, I want to only buy from you. Which means a lot of the times, every single client that we provided leads for in the PPL space have repurchased from us every single month. And you know what the crazy part is? We just profited $7,500 on the first month. We didn't touch a funnel. We didn't get on a client call. Everything done through email. The sales calls are like 15 minutes because it's straightforward. Hey, you want 50 leads? This is how much it is. Versus in the agency space, you have to convince them like, okay, pay me $7,500 because we're the best. We're the best at what we do. There is no negotiation because it's, hey, you want this amount of leads, this is how much it is. And you know what's even better? This is a part that's crazy. When they get the results and they're like, wow, these leads are amazing, what are they gonna do? Hey, actually, can you double that? Next month, I want 100 leads. And you know what happened? You just doubled your revenue. You just doubled your profit because you're not optimizing funnels. I mean, obviously you optimize that one funnel, but you don't have all your goal, your deliverable is to deliver the leads that you say. And obviously you have to make sure that they're converting and all of that, but that's where the media buying, like you should be good at media buying if you want to do this model. But think about how crazy that is. We've made more money in the last 3 months with this model than we ever have when we were running it as a general marketing agency with less headache. It is so crazy. Like one of our clients, his pilot, we typically do like a pilot test, was up and we're like, hey, your pilot test is up. Let us know if you want to purchase more. Use this link below to purchase more. He's like, yeah, I would love to. Sign contract, paid. Simple. These people don't even want to get on a sales call because it's straightforward. Hey, your leads convert at X%. This is how much I'm getting. Here's how much I'm paying you. Hey, I really like these leads. They converted really well compared to other people I buy from. Let's double this. Boom, you just doubled how much money you make. Crazy. But you're like, this sounds so good to be true. There's always a catch. And yep, there is always a catch. So what's the risk? The risk is entirely on you. You pay for the ad, if the ad swap, you lose money. So let's just say you sold the leads for $350 and you are not a good media buyer. You're still figuring this out and your CPL was $375. Well, guess what? You just lost out on money. So that's the risk here. You have to know your numbers. You have to be good at media buying. But if you already have an agency, I'm sure you know how to run ads. And if you're looking to start an agency and you don't know how to run ads or you don't know where to start, we do have a free school community where you can learn a lot more. Click down below. But I know there are a lot of people who don't actually run their ads and they just have a partner who runs their ads, or you can also buy leads from other people at a fixed rate. So I would say the catch is that if your CPL is higher than you sold it, you will be negative. So here are the key takeaways. Retainers cap your income and chain you to clients. This was one of the biggest things for us. We were growing and we were scaling so fast, and obviously I'm so thankful for that. But looking into the future, we're like, man, like we're gonna need tons of people on our team to fulfill. It just felt like fulfillment was like crushing us. Not in a way where we weren't fulfilling, but it just felt like we always, as the more clients we got, the more team members we got, it just felt like there had to be a better way to run the backend systems. PPL pitch, clients want to pay for results. If you tell a client, hey, you pay me this amount for X amount of leads, it's such an easier sell. And that's when I realized a lot of agencies, they do a lot of these sales calls and you have to convince the client, pay me $7,500, pay me $5,000 because I'm better than the next guy. Versus in this PPL space, you literally sell leads. Honestly, we've gotten to a point where in the future, we're not going to be doing any sales calls anymore and we will just send them a Loom or a video, and if they want to buy, they can. That's how much our sales process has changed. I feel like when we were doing the agency, marketing agency, it felt like we had to convince them or get on these calls, have this elaborate slide deck that we had to show them. And now it's just all they just care about are the numbers. You have one pixel, one funnel, one of everything. And obviously if you want to branch out into different verticals, you can, but to keep it simple, if worst came to worst, there was an apocalypse, one person can run the show. If you want to learn more about this model and get more insight and how to set everything up, join our free school community down below. There's so many members that have recently joined that are loving it, and we give so much insight into what we're doing there. And let me know in the comments below if you're team retainers or your team pay per lead. I'm curious to hear what you guys think. If you like this video, don't forget to give it a like, comment, share, and subscribe. And I'm curious, let me know what other videos you'd like to see in this space. Bye.